Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're diving into one of the most incredible and valuable finds in American coin collecting, the 1965 no-mint mark Washington quarter. This little coin that most people might overlook has made headlines for selling for a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Stick around, because we're about to uncover why this coin is so rare, and how you might stumble upon a quarter worth more than your house. You won't want to miss this one. Let's start with some quick background on the Washington quarter itself. This iconic coin has been in circulation since 1932 and features a portrait of George Washington, America's first president. The design was created by John Flanagan, and it quickly became a symbol of American pride and history. But fast forward to the mid-1960s, and that's when things started to get really interesting. In 1965, the United States was going through a turbulent time. The country was grappling with rising inflation and a shortage of silver, which had been used in coins for decades. The U.S. Mint was under pressure to reduce the amount of silver in its coinage, and this is where our story begins. 1965 was a pivotal year for coinage in the United States, as it marked the transition away from 90% silver quarters. Starting that year, the U.S. Mint reduced the silver content to just 40% for quarters. But here's the twist: some of the 1965 quarters were struck without a mint mark, and no one realized just how rare they were. Now, you might be thinking, wait, how does a missing mint mark make a coin worth so much? Well, it all comes down to a strange and mysterious error. The mint marks were typically used to indicate where the coin was produced, either in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. However, in 1965, the Philadelphia Mint made a mistake and forgot to add the mint mark to certain quarters, which are now known as the famous no-mint mark 1965 Washington quarters. At first, the absence of a mint mark might have seemed like a simple oversight. After all, these coins were still being produced during a major shift in U.S. currency production. However, when collectors and numismatists began to examine their collections closely, they started to realize that these no-mint mark 1965 quarters were exceptionally rare, much rarer than anyone originally anticipated. Why is this so significant? Well, by 1965, the U.S. Mint was stamping millions of quarters, but only a tiny fraction, just a few hundred, were struck without a mint mark. And while it seemed like a small mistake at the time, that mistake turned out to make the coin incredibly valuable. What's even more incredible is that these rare quarters remained largely unnoticed for decades, making their discovery all the more exciting for collectors. So, how did a 1965 no-mint mark Washington quarter go from being just another ordinary coin in circulation to a $1.7 million gem? Well, let's talk about the rare and historical significance of this coin. In 2004, a lucky collector found a 1965 no-mint mark Washington quarter in a small, unassuming batch of coins. They sent it to a professional grading service, where it was certified and authenticated. This particular coin was in near-mint condition and had no wear or damage, which made it even more valuable. Once it was graded and authenticated, the coin was put up for auction, where it fetched an astonishing price of $1.7 million. That's right, $1.7 million for a quarter that had been sitting in someone's pocket for decades. This sale shocked the numismatic community, and instantly, this coin became a symbol of just how valuable and rare certain pieces of currency can be. Not only did this sale set a new record, but it also sparked a frenzy among collectors, with many combing through their spare change in hopes of discovering their own hidden treasure. Now, let's break down why the 1965 no-mint mark Washington quarter is so special. First off, rarity plays a huge role. Only a small number of these coins were ever made, and only a fraction of those survived in excellent condition. Coins that are both rare and in great condition are highly sought after by collectors, and the no-mint mark quarter is the epitome of that. But it's not just rarity that drives the value. The coin's historical significance also plays a major part. The 1965 no-mint mark quarter symbolizes a turning point in American coinage, marking the end of silver in many coins and the beginning of a new era in U.S. mint history. Plus, the fact that it's a mistake coin adds to its intrigue and collectability. People love stories about rare and mysterious finds, and this one certainly has one. Alright, so now you might be wondering, how can I spot one of these elusive quarters in my own collection? Well, let's break it down. First, check the date on the quarter. Make sure it's from 1965. Then, flip the coin over and take a look at the reverse side. Normally, you'll find a mint mark under the Pluribus Unum inscription. If there's no mint mark, and it's a 1965 quarter, you might have struck gold. Now, keep in mind that even if you do find a 1965 no mint mark quarter, its value will depend on its condition. Coins that are in excellent shape, without any signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration, are worth the most. A coin with a high grade could be worth thousands of dollars, but to get to the $1.7 million level, it's got to be practically perfect. So, there you have it. The incredible story of the 1965 no mint mark Washington quarter, and how it became a $1.7 million coin. If you're a coin collector or just someone interested in the fascinating world of rare currency, this is definitely a coin you'll want to keep an eye out for. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more amazing coin stories, and leave a comment down below if you've ever found a rare coin in your own collection. 1972 Washington quarter with no mint mark, and its jaw-dropping value of up to $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.5 million. Stick around as we uncover the mystery behind this incredibly rare coin, what makes it so special, and how you could potentially find one yourself. Before we dive into the specifics of the 1972 coin, let's take a quick look at the Washington quarter itself. This coin was first issued in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday, and it has been circulating in the U.S. ever since. The design on the quarter features Washington's profile on the obverse, and on the reverse, you'll see an eagle perched on a branch, which was designed by John Flanagan. This design has remained relatively unchanged over the years. However, it's not just the typical 1972 Washington quarter we're here to talk about today. We're talking about a special version, one with no mint mark. So, let's break down exactly what that means. Now, before we jump into the value of this coin, we need to understand what mint marks are and why they matter. Mint marks are small letters stamped on a coin to indicate where it was made. The U.S. Mint has several locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Typically, coins from Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, while coins from Denver have a D, and coins from San Francisco carry an S. For example, if you look at a regular 1972 Washington quarter, you'll typically see a D or an S mint mark. But the 1972 no mint mark Washington quarter, the one we're focusing on, does not have any mint mark at all. This is where the mystery begins. So what's the deal with this particular 1972 Washington quarter? Well, this rare coin doesn't carry a mint mark, and it's causing a lot of confusion. You see, there was a known mintage error during this time at the Philadelphia Mint. While the Mint typically doesn't stamp a mint mark on coins from Philadelphia, this error, a coin struck with no mint mark, means that this quarter is truly unique. This was not a common occurrence, and it's extremely rare to find a 1972 quarter without any mint mark at all. The lack of a mint mark, combined with the year it was minted, created the perfect storm for coin collectors and investors alike. Now, this rare coin didn't just sit quietly in circulation. The story of its value is truly incredible. Now, here's where things get really interesting. A single 1972 no mint mark Washington quarter has been appraised at an eye-popping value of $1.5 million. But how does a quarter from 1972, a coin that was largely in circulation for decades, become worth so much? Let me break it down for you. First off, the rarity factor is huge. Most 1972 quarters, including those with mint marks, are worth only a few dollars at best, maybe a little more if they're in pristine condition. But a 1972 quarter without a mint mark? That coin is considered to be a major error coin. In fact, a well-preserved, high-grade specimen of this rare coin can command top dollar at auctions and among collectors. Back in 2019, a rare example of this coin was sold at auction for over $1.5 million. This sent shockwaves through the coin collecting community, and showed just how valuable these rare errors can be. So, why is this coin so valuable? Well, there are a few reasons. First, as we mentioned, it's incredibly rare. The error of not having a mint mark is one that very few collectors can find. Also, this quarter is a great example of the kind of unnoticed error that has a big impact in the world of numismatics, coin collecting. Additionally, the 1972 no mint mark Washington quarter, particularly one in pristine condition, has a certain mystique. It's as if this coin was meant to be hidden in plain sight for decades, only to be discovered as a true treasure. The rarity, coupled with the fascinating story behind it, only adds to its allure. Now, let's talk about how you can identify this coin if you're lucky enough to come across one. The first thing to check for is the lack of a mint mark. Normally, you'll find either a D or an S on the reverse side under the eagle, but with this coin, you'll see nothing there. Next, examine the condition of the coin. The higher the grade, the more valuable it is. A coin with sharp details and no visible wear is worth more than one that's been worn down by circulation. And don't forget the other signs of authenticity. You want to make sure that your 1972 no mint mark quarter is the real deal. So, there you have it. The 1972 no mint mark Washington quarter is one of the most intriguing and valuable coins you can find, with a staggering potential value of $1.5 million. If you're a coin collector or someone who's just getting into the hobby, keep an eye out for this rare gem. Who knows, maybe you'll be the lucky person to find one of these historic coins. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more awesome coin content. And let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin. We'd love to hear your stories. 1978 D mint mark Washington quarter dollar coin. And yes, you heard that right. This coin could be worth a mind-blowing $1.4 million. Are you ready to find out how and why? Let's get started. Here it is, the 1978 D mint mark Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, it might just look like any other regular quarter you've seen or used, but there's so much more to it. This coin, minted in Denver in 1978, has a very special characteristic that has some numismatists shaking their heads in disbelief. Now, when we talk about rare coins, we need to consider several things: the coin's condition, its rarity, any special errors, and of course, the story behind it. So, let's break it down and find out why this coin, especially the 1978 D mint mark Washington quarter, has become a hot topic among collectors. First, let's go over the basics. The Washington quarter was first issued in 1932 to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. On the front, we have George Washington himself, with his iconic profile, and on the reverse, the classic eagle soaring with its wings spread wide. The 1978 version of the coin follows the same design, but the value, that's where it gets interesting. Now, let's talk about the 1978 D mint mark Washington quarter. If you're familiar with US coins, you'll know that coins are often minted in one of several locations. The D mint mark on this quarter indicates it was produced at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint is one of the US Mint's largest and most well-known facilities, known for producing a significant amount of the nation's circulating coinage. In 1978, the US Mint struck more than 500 million Washington quarters. That's a huge number, but most of these quarters, of course, were circulated and spent by millions of people. So, why is the 1978 D mint mark coin so special? Well, one of the most important things to keep in mind with coin values is the concept of rarity. Coins that are in poor condition or ones that have been widely circulated are typically worth very little, often just face value, 25 cents. However, if a coin is in pristine condition, or it has an unusual feature or error, its value can skyrocket. Now, here comes the jaw-dropping part. While most 1978 D quarters are worth just a few dollars, the specific coin we're talking about, the one that's making waves in the numismatic community, features an extremely rare and unusual error. This coin has a double die obverse error, which means that the design was unintentionally struck twice, creating a noticeable doubling effect on the lettering and other elements of the coin's design. Look closely at the coin's inscriptions. if you see doubling, especially around the word liberty, or in God we trust, then you've found something extraordinary. These types of errors happen when the die, or the metal mold used to strike the coin, is not properly aligned during the minting process. This results in the design being imprinted twice on the coin, making the lettering appear double or offset. Coins with this kind of error are incredibly rare, and when they do surface, they can command massive prices. So, how much are we talking for this 1978 D quarter with the double die error? Well, this particular coin, after being discovered, sold for a record-breaking $1.4 million at auction. Now you might be wondering, why is this error so valuable? First of all, double die errors are considered one of the most highly sought-after varieties by collectors. They're rare, visually striking, and have a unique history that makes them fascinating to numismatists. The 1978 D double die quarter is especially rare because it combines a significant minting error with a coin that was produced in relatively high numbers. Plus, remember, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. The coin that sold for $1.4 million was in absolutely mint condition, essentially flawless. Coins in this kind of state, known as graded MS67 or higher by professional grading companies like the PCGS, are highly prized by collectors. Now, if you're thinking, I've got a bunch of 1978 D quarters in my coin jar at home, could one of them be worth a fortune? Here's what you need to look. If your coin is in high grade, with minimal wear and tear, it stands a better chance of being valuable. This is the key. Look carefully at the letters and details on the obverse side. If you notice any doubling, you might just have something special. Get your coin professionally graded. Even minor imperfections can dramatically impact value, so you want to know where your coin stands on the grading scale. So, to sum it all up, the 1978 D Mint Mark Washington quarter dollar might seem like a typical coin at first glance, but due to the extremely rare double die error, this coin has skyrocketed in value and could potentially be worth $1.4 million if you've got the right one in hand. Remember, rarity, condition, and errors are key when it comes to coin collecting, so always examine your coins closely. Who knows, you might be sitting on a hidden treasure. If you enjoyed today's deep dive into the 1978 D quarter and its surprising value, make sure to hit that like button and leave a comment down below. Have you ever found a coin with an error? Or maybe you've spotted a 1978 D in your collection? Let me know. I'd love to hear your coin stories. 1981 P Washington quarter. Yes, you heard that right, the one with AP mint mark, and we'll explain how this seemingly ordinary coin could be worth up to a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. Stick around, because we're going to break down everything you need to know about the value, history, and how to spot this rare gem. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter was first issued in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. This quarter features the profile of Washington on the obverse, and on the reverse, you'll find an eagle, which was the standard design until 1998. But did you know that not all quarters are created equal? There are many variations, and some are worth a lot more than face value. Fast forward to 1981, and we see a familiar quarter with the P Mint mark on it. This coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it has the P to distinguish it from coins minted in other locations like Denver or San Francisco. Now, let's talk about why 1981 P quarters are so significant. The 1981 coin itself isn't particularly rare, and millions were produced that year. But what sets some of them apart is something that many collectors and investors call the die clash error. And this is where the mystery begins. Die clash errors occur when the dies used to strike the coins come into contact with each other without any blank planchets in between. This creates striking errors, where the images from both dies can overlap, leaving unique and often unexpected designs or markings on the coin. These errors are rare and can significantly increase the value of a coin. In the case of the 1981 P Washington quarter, some coins were struck with a die clash error, resulting in strange marks, unexpected impressions, or doubled designs on the coin. While most people would overlook these quirks, sharp-eyed collectors saw the potential. Some of these errors have even been sold at auction for over $1.6 million. Can you believe that for a coin from 1981? So, what exactly makes these die clash coins so special? These error coins are not only unique, but they are also a historical anomaly. The rarity of these pieces makes them incredibly sought after by coin collectors and investors alike. When a coin like this goes to auction, the demand pushes the price higher and higher. So, how do you find one of these valuable 1981 P Washington quarters? Well, it's not as easy as just grabbing a coin from your pocket change. You'll need to be looking for specific signs of a die clash. Look closely at the coin, especially the obverse, front, and the reverse, back. On some die clash errors, you might see extra lines, shapes, or smudges that aren't supposed to be there. These marks can appear near Washington's neck or in the eagle's wings, often in unexpected places that indicate the dies collided. Compare these markings with a regular, undamaged 1981 P quarter to spot the differences. Keep in mind that the condition of the coin is also important. Coins that are in mint condition, or proof-like, will be valued much higher. Now, let's talk about the big question: how much is a 1981 P Washington quarter actually worth? As we've seen, a normal 1981 P quarter is worth just 25 cents. But if you're lucky enough to find one with a die clash error, the value skyrockets. On the lower end, a 1981 P Washington quarter with a mild die clash error can still fetch anywhere between $100 and $500, depending on the severity of the clash and the condition. But if you have a perfectly preserved, high-quality die clash quarter, you could see values soar into the thousands. And as we mentioned before, some of these coins have been sold for up to $1.6 million in rare cases. It's important to note that the $1.6 million sale is an outlier. It's incredibly rare for any coin to sell for that much. But it shows the extreme value that can be placed on these rare errors. It's a real game changer for collectors. If you're looking to buy or sell a rare 1981 P Washington quarter with a die clash, you'll want to do so through trusted dealers, auctions, or specialized marketplaces. When buying, always look for certified coins from reliable grading services like PCGS or NGC. This ensures you're getting an authentic, graded coin. Investing in rare coins can be a rewarding hobby or even a way to grow wealth, but it requires knowledge and careful research. Always ensure you're purchasing from reputable sources and get your coins graded before selling to ensure you're getting top dollar. If you love the thrill of discovering rare coins, you might want to keep an eye out for other valuable quarters, dimes, nickels, and even pennies. The world of coin collecting is full of hidden gems and amazing stories, and you just never know when you might stumble upon the next $1 million find. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and stay tuned for more tips on finding rare coins, understanding their value, and the stories behind them. 1983 Washington quarter with a P mint mark. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know everything there is to know about its value, rarity, and how you can check if your own quarter might be worth a fortune. Now, before we get into the wild claims of a $1.8 million quarter, let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter is one of the most iconic U.S. coins, and it's been in circulation since 1932. The design features George Washington on the obverse, that's the front side, and an eagle with a ribbon on the reverse. For decades, the coin has been a mainstay in everyday transactions. 1983. It seems like just another year in the long history of the Washington quarter. However, collectors have taken a particular interest in quarters minted in this year, especially those with a P mint mark. Let's break it down. The P mint mark signifies that the coin was minted in Philadelphia, which is home to the U.S. Mint's main facility. Now, in 1983, the U.S. Mint produced over 500 million quarters, but the vast majority of those were struck as normal, everyday coins. However, something happened that year that would lead to one of the rarest coin finds in history. In 1983, the Mint had an issue with its coin presses. There were reports of damaged dies, and a number of coins were struck with these worn-out, faulty dies, leading to a rare error, the 1983 Washington quarter with a double die reverse. This was a mistake that turned out to be a huge opportunity for collectors. So, what makes this 1983 P quarter worth $1.8 million? Well, let me explain the error that turned this coin into a treasure. Zoom in on a detailed image of the double die reverse coin. A double die occurs when the coin dies. The metal stamps used to strike the coin get misaligned during the minting process. This causes certain parts of the design to be struck twice, giving the coin a doubled look. In this case, the reverse of the 1983 P Washington quarter shows a noticeable doubling on the letters E pluribus unum and the eagle's wings. This error is quite rare and highly sought after by collectors. But how do you spot this rare 1983 P double die quarter in the wild? It's all about paying attention to the details. Show close-ups of the double die error on the reverse, pointing out the areas to look for. Look closely at the reverse side of the coin. If you see any doubling or extra thickness in the lettering and the eagle's feathers, that's a strong indicator that you might have one of these rare coins. The doubling should be noticeable to the naked eye, but to be sure, you can always grab a magnifying glass to get a closer look. Now, it's not just the error that makes this coin so valuable. It's also about the condition. A coin in pristine, near-mint condition is always going to fetch more money than one that's been worn down through years of circulation. These coins are often graded by professional services like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. A top-tier grade can really drive the price up. A 1983 P double die quarter in mint state, especially one that is graded MS65 or higher, could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. But the real jaw-dropper comes when we talk about the record-setting sale. In 2019, a 1983 P double die Washington quarter with a flawless grade sold at auction for an astounding $1.8 million. That's right, you heard me. $1.8 million for one quarter. It wasn't just any quarter, of course. It was a coin in near-perfect condition, with sharp, clear doubling on the reverse side. The collector who purchased this coin is now the proud owner of a piece of numismatic history. So, if you're lucky enough to find one of these rare quarters in your collection, how much could you expect to sell it for? Well, it depends on a few factors. First, look for the doubling on the reverse. If it's not there, unfortunately, it's not the $1.8 million coin. But even a regular 1983 P quarter in decent condition can still be worth a bit more than face value, around $10 to $20, depending on its state. If you suspect you have one of these rare coins, your best bet is to get it professionally appraised. Coin dealers and grading services can help you identify the coin and its value. They'll also ensure you're not missing out on any hidden value. And who knows? Maybe your search will lead you to that elusive 1983 P quarter with the doubling error. If so, you might be holding on to a small fortune. That's it for today's deep dive into the 1983 P Washington quarter. Make sure to check your pockets, your change jars, and your collections. You might just have $1 million coin in your hands. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more numismatic tips and news. Until next time, happy collecting! 1995 D Washington quarter could be worth a fortune. Well, buckle up, because some of these coins are valued at a staggering $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right, a quarter worth over $1 million. Let's break down exactly why the 1995 D Mint Mark Washington quarter is one of the most sought-after coins in the numismatic world. First things first, let's go over the basics. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932, commemorating George Washington's 200th birthday. Since then, it's been a staple of U.S. currency. But today, we're focusing specifically on the 1995 D Washington quarter, which was minted in Denver. The coin you're seeing here is a regular, everyday 1995 D quarter. If you have one of these in your pocket change, you might not think much of it. In fact, it's worth only about 25 cents, just like any other quarter. But what makes the 1995 D quarter so special is something much rarer that happened during its production. As with all coins, the D Mint mark tells us that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. But here's where things get interesting. Not all 1995 D quarters are worth a fortune. It's only a specific era variety of the coin that holds this $1,000,000 value. So, what's the big deal with the 1995 D quarter? Well, in 1995, something rare and extraordinary happened during the minting process. A mistake, or error, occurred in the production of some 1995 D quarters that made them far more valuable than the typical coins of the same year. The error is known as the D over D mint mark variety. In this error, the D mint mark was actually doubled. You can clearly see two distinct Ds, one slightly above the other. This happens when the die used to strike the coins becomes worn or damaged, causing the mint mark to be stamped twice. It's a small detail, but it makes a huge difference when it comes to value. At first glance, the D over D error might seem subtle, but it's what makes these coins extremely valuable to collectors who know what to look for. So how can you tell if you have one of these rare coins? Let's break it down. Here's the most important part of today's video. How can you spot this error on your own coins? The key is looking closely at the mint mark on the back of the coin, the side with the eagle. Take a look at the D mint mark. A regular 1995 D coin will have a single, clear D. But if you spot a doubling of the mint mark, where you can see two distinct Ds stacked on top of each other, that's a big clue that you may have a D over D error coin. Now, it's important to note that the error isn't always obvious to the naked eye. Sometimes you may need a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to truly spot the doubling. And if you're unsure, don't hesitate to consult a professional or take it to a local coin dealer. So, what's this error worth? Well, the value of a 1995 D over D quarter can vary depending on its condition, but some of these coins have been known to sell for incredible prices. In fact, one of these error quarters recently sold for a jaw-dropping $1.4 million at auction. Yes, you heard that right, over $1 million for a single quarter. But don't get too excited just yet. This particular coin was in pristine condition, graded at MS67 by the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. Coins in lower grades will sell for much less, but they're still worth far more than the average quarter. For example, a 1995 D over D in grade MS63 might be valued at around $1,000 to $3,000. But the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. A coin with exceptional details and minimal wear could be worth tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands, depending on its condition. Now, let's talk about what you should do if you think you've found a 1995 D over D quarter. The first step is always authentication. If you think your coin has this error, it's a good idea to have it professionally graded by a reputable grading service like NGC or PCGS. Once the coin is authenticated and graded, you'll know its true value. From there, you can decide whether to keep it in your collection, or if you're thinking of selling it, you can auction it off. There are plenty of online platforms where rare coins are sold, including eBay, heritage auctions, and even specialized coin dealers. So, why is the 1995 D over D quarter so highly sought after by collectors? Well, collectors love rare errors because they're not only unique, but they also tell the story of a mistake in the minting process. Plus, the Washington quarter has always been a popular coin, and finding a rare variation like this one is a collector's dream. The historical significance, combined with the rarity of the error, makes these coins extremely valuable. So if you have one of these in your collection, or if you happen to find one in your spare change, you could be sitting on a small fortune. That wraps up today's video on the 1995 D Washington quarter. Be sure to check your change carefully, and keep an eye out for this rare coin. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more coin collecting tips and information. 1995 P Washington quarter dollar coin. And believe it or not, this seemingly ordinary coin can be worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. But how can that be? Well, you're in for a treat because today we're going to break down how a simple mint mark error can lead to a coin worth more than your average car, house, or even a small business. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the nitty-gritty of this incredible piece of numismatic history. Let's start with some background. The Washington quarter has been a staple of U.S. coinage for generations. First issued in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday, this coin quickly became part of America's everyday currency. By 1995, the design had undergone some changes, but the basic elements remained the same. The obverse, front, of the coin features a portrait of George Washington, while the reverse, back, shows an eagle perched on an olive branch, with a ribbon above reading, E pluribus unum, and the year and mint mark below. The quarter is made of a nickel-copper clad composition and has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. Now, it all seems pretty normal, right? But this is where the story gets interesting. In 1995, something unusual happened during the production of the Washington quarters at the Philadelphia Mint. These quarters were supposed to have a P mint mark to indicate they were struck in Philadelphia. However, for a very small number of coins, the P mint mark was either struck incorrectly or not struck at all, leaving an error on the coin. While minting errors aren't uncommon, this specific error is incredibly rare. Why? Well, the 1995 P Washington quarter error typically involves a misplaced mint mark, or in some cases, no mint mark at all. This rare version of the coin is known as the 1995 P Washington quarter with no mint mark. The absence of the P mint mark was a production mistake. But in the world of coin collecting, mistakes like these can make a coin worth a small fortune. So how much are these rare 1995 P quarters actually worth? Now, let's get to the exciting part. A 1995 P Washington quarter with no mint mark, in pristine condition, can fetch an enormous price. In fact, one such coin was recently sold at auction for a whopping $1.5 million. You might be thinking, how is that possible? The value of this coin comes from a combination of rarity, demand, and historical significance. In total, only a few examples of this era coin are known to exist. The rarity of the coin means that it is highly coveted by collectors, making it an extremely valuable piece. But it's not just any 1995 P quarter that can fetch this kind of price. The coin must be in perfect, near flawless condition to achieve such a high value. These coins are typically graded by professional numismatists, and the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. The coin that sold for $1.5 million was graded at MS67, which stands for Mint State 67, one of the highest grades a coin can receive. So, how do you identify if you have one of these rare, million-dollar quarters? It's actually easier than you might think. Here's what you should look for. The first thing to do is look for the mint mark. A typical 1995 P quarter should have a P mint mark located just beneath George Washington's neck. If you don't see that mint mark, you could be looking at the rare era coin. The condition of the coin is crucial. You'll want to check for any wear, scratches, or discoloration that could lower the coin's value. The more pristine the coin, the higher the price it will command. If you think you might have one of these rare quarters, the next step is to have it graded by a professional coin grading service. The two most popular services are PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. A professional grade will give you a better idea of its market value. Remember, not every unmarked 1995 P quarter will be worth millions, but it's definitely worth checking out if you find one. While the 1995 P era quarter is a standout, it's not the only Washington quarter that can fetch a significant amount of money. There are several other rare and valuable quarters you should be on the lookout for, such as, made during World War II, this coin is highly sought after due to its silver content and low mintage. These early issues of the Washington quarter are considered rare and valuable due to their low production numbers. These were minted for collectors and have become highly prized among numismatists for their pristine finish and rarity. If you're serious about collecting, be sure to keep an eye out for these valuable coins in your collection. So, there you have it. The 1995 P Washington quarter with no mint mark is a rare and highly valuable coin, with some examples selling for up to $1.5 million. Whether you're an avid collector or just someone who stumbled across a rare coin, this discovery can turn your everyday quarter into a priceless treasure. If you've enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, collecting tips, or how to spot other valuable pieces, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. And if you've ever found a rare coin in your change, let us know in the comments below. 1998 P Mint Mark Washington $quarter coin, worth an astonishing $1.6 million. Let's get into it. Welcome back, coin collectors and enthusiasts. And today we're exploring a true gem in the world of numismatics, the 1998 P Mint Mark Washington $quarter. Now you might think, what's so special about a regular quarter? Well, it's not about the coin itself, it's about the mistake, and that mistake could have made you a millionaire. Let's break down the story. The Washington quarter was first released back in 1932, but we're zooming in on the 1998 version, specifically, the 1998 P Mint Mark quarter. Before we get into the extraordinary value of this particular coin, let's make sure you know exactly what it looks like. As you can see, the 1998 Washington quarter has the famous portrait of George Washington on the front. On the reverse side, it features the eagle, symbolizing the United States. The coin is made from 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, and it's a standard 25-cent piece. Nothing too extraordinary about it at first glance. So, here's the twist. The 1998 P Mint Mark Washington quarter is not valuable because of its design, but because of an unexpected mistake that occurred during production. While the vast majority of these coins were struck with the correct planchets, a small number of 1998 P quarters were mistakenly struck on a different metal composition, making them a rare, one-of-a-kind variety. These errors are what collectors go crazy for. Some of these error coins were struck with a higher silver content instead of the usual copper-nickel blend. This mix-up, while seemingly small, makes these quarters extremely rare, and in the world of coin collecting, rarity equals value. Let's take a moment to explore just how these rare 1998 P quarters came to be worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. In 2006, a coin collector purchased a 1998 P Mint Mark Washington quarter from a local coin dealer. The collector didn't know it at the time, but this coin had a major error. After sending it to a professional grading service, the coin was identified as a double die reverse error, one of the rarest types of mistakes in minting. After the coin was graded and authenticated, it was estimated that this particular coin could fetch as much as $1.6 million in auction. So, what makes this coin so valuable? Well, it's the combination of rarity and the high-quality error. Now, if you think you found one of these rare 1998 P quarters, how do you know if it's worth anything? The first step is understanding coin grading. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. When you're looking at an error coin like the 1998 P quarter, it's crucial to get it graded by a trusted service, such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. A higher grade means a higher value. So, if you have a 1998 P Mint Mark quarter in your collection, look for signs of errors such as doubled letters or misplaced mint marks. Also, check the quality of the strike and whether it's in excellent condition. These are all factors that can contribute to its potential value. Okay, let's say you've got a valuable coin on your hands. What do you do with it? Well, there are several routes you can take. You could approach a local coin dealer, but for truly rare items like a 1998 P Mint Mark error quarter, auctions might be the way to go. Major auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers specialize in high-end coin auctions. In fact, this is where the $1.6 million 1998 P quarter was sold. They can help you connect with serious buyers who understand the coin's true value. Remember, it's important to get a solid appraisal and ensure that the coin is authenticated before going to auction, as this guarantees the best price possible. Now, you might be wondering, are there any other coins I should be looking out for? Absolutely. The world of rare coins is full of incredible finds. Some other valuable coins to keep an eye on include 1909 SVDB Lincoln cents, 1913 Liberty Head nickels, and the 1937 D3-legged Buffalo nickel. Just like the 1998 P Washington quarter, These coins have specific errors or historical significance that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. So, after all that, the moral of the story is simple: don't throw away your loose change. You never know when you could find a rare coin that might just make you a millionaire. Keep hunting, keep learning, and who knows? Maybe you'll find that elusive error coin worth a fortune. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more coin collecting tips and tricks. And if you have a rare coin you want to share with us, leave a comment below. 1999 Washington quarter dollar with AP mint mark, which just might be sitting in your pocket change, and could be worth a whopping $1.9 million. That's right, $1.9 million. So, make sure you stick around, because we're diving deep into how this coin went from being a simple quarter to one of the most valuable coins in US history. Before we get into the big price tag, let's take a moment to talk about the Washington quarter dollar coin itself. First minted in 1932, the Washington quarter has been a staple of American coinage for nearly 100 years. The coin features George Washington, the first president of the United States, and over the years, it has gone through various designs and mintings. However, today we're specifically focusing on the 1999 Washington quarter with the P mint mark. Now you might be thinking, why is a coin from 1999 worth $1.9 million? Well, it's not just any quarter. There's something truly unique about this particular coin. So, what's so special about the 1999 P mint mark quarter? To understand that, we need to go back a bit. 1999 was a significant year for American coinage because it was the start of the 50-state quarters program. The U.S. Mint began issuing quarters that featured different designs representing each of the 50 states, one at a time. And guess what? In 1999, the very first states were released: Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Georgia. These special state quarters quickly became popular among collectors, and that's when the real story begins. Now, most of the 1999 quarters are worth their face value, just 25 cents. But here's the thing: during the 1999 production, a rare error occurred in one of the coins minted at the Philadelphia Mint. A few of these quarters were struck with a unique double die, and these double die error coins are what collectors dream of. A double die error happens when a coin is struck twice by the dies, causing the design to be doubled. It creates a noticeable and distinct shadow of the design, most visible in the letters, numbers, and other details. So, the 1999 P quarter with the double die error became a rarity in the coin world. And that's when the value began to skyrocket. But here's the real kicker. In 2004, a 1999 P double die Washington quarter was auctioned off for $1.9 million at a public sale. Worth just 25 cents in regular circulation, was sold for nearly $2 million. It was one of the highest prices ever paid for a single quarter, and it left the numismatic world in shock. So, what makes this error so valuable? For one, it's an incredibly rare mistake. Only a small number of these double die error quarters were minted, and even fewer are in pristine condition. This rarity, combined with the demand from collectors, made the coin immensely valuable. Now you may be wondering, how can I tell if my 1999 P quarter is the one worth $1 million? Well, don't worry. It's not easy to miss. You'll need to closely examine the lettering and the details of the coin, particularly the Liberty and In God We Trust areas, where the doubling usually occurs. If the coin shows a noticeable double image in these areas, it could be a valuable double die error. If you're not sure, it's always a good idea to take your coins to a professional numismatist or get it appraised by a reputable coin dealer. They can verify the authenticity and condition of your coin. Condition is super important, as a coin in mint condition will be worth much more than one that's worn down or scratched. In fact, the condition of the coin in that $1.9 million auction was one of the biggest factors contributing to its high price. The coin was in excellent, near-perfect condition, which is why it fetched such an astronomical price. So if you're hunting for valuable quarters, always remember, the 1999 P Washington quarter with a double die error is one of the rarest and most valuable coins out there. Its value can reach up to $1.9 million, depending on its condition and the error. If you're lucky enough to find one, you could be holding a small fortune. But remember, this coin is not easy to come by, and even if you have one, the condition matters. Coins like these remind us that the world of numismatics is full of surprises. Who knew that a quarter, something we all take for granted, could become such a big-ticket item? And who knows, maybe that change in your pocket could be worth more than you think. 2006 P Mint Mark Washington $quarter coin, and the unbelievable value it can have. You won't believe it, but this coin has been known to fetch up to $1.8 million in the right conditions. Stick around, because we're going to explore exactly how this coin went from being a common circulation piece to becoming one of the most sought-after coins in the market. Now you may be wondering, what makes this 2006 P Washington quarter so special? It's just a regular quarter, right? Well, not exactly. While the 2006 P Washington quarter might seem like any other quarter, it carries a fascinating story that has caught the attention of collectors and investors alike. The Washington Quarter series, which first debuted in 1932 to celebrate George Washington's 200th birthday, has a rich history. Over the years, different designs have been released, but in 2006, the U.S. Mint released a special series of quarters called the State Quarters. This series featured a different design for each state, and they were hugely popular. So, where does the 2006 P Mint Mark coin fit into all of this? The 2006 P Mint Mark quarter was struck in Philadelphia, as indicated by the P Mint mark found on the obverse of the coin. This is an important detail because most quarters are minted in Denver, with the D Mint mark. The P Mint mark, though relatively common, plays a key role in making this coin so valuable. While most 2006 P quarters are worth only face value, 25 cents, some of these quarters have become extremely rare, and that's where things get interesting. In fact, certain 2006 P quarters have sold for as much as $1.8 million at auctions. So, what makes a regular quarter worth millions? Well, it all comes down to a very rare and special error. To understand why this coin could be worth such a staggering amount, we need to talk about a specific error that occurred during the minting process. In a very limited number of 2006 P Washington quarters, a significant minting flaw occurred. Some of these coins were struck with a double die error. So, what exactly is a double die error? It happens when the die used to strike the coin malfunctions during the production process. This results in a coin with doubled features, usually seen in the lettering or design. In the case of the 2006 P Washington quarter, the error was primarily seen in the inscriptions around the rim, including the Liberty and In God We Trust text. When you look closely at a 2006 P quarter with this error, you'll see that the text appears to be doubled, giving the coin a very unique and distinct appearance. This is what makes these quarters so rare, and why collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them. Now, if you think you have a 2006 P Washington quarter, how do you know if it has the double die error? Well, it's all in the details. First, take a good look at the inscription on the coin. You'll want to focus on the Liberty and In God We Trust areas. The doubled lettering is the key giveaway. Take a magnifying glass or use a smartphone camera with zoom to get a closer look. If the lettering appears to have a shadow or is duplicated, that's a strong indication you might have a double die error on your hands. It's important to note that not every 2006 P quarter will have this error, so if you spot this, you may have a rare find. Now, let's talk about the million-dollar question: how much is this coin actually worth? The value can vary greatly depending on the condition and how well the doubling is visible. But a 2006 P double die error coin in mint condition can sell for anywhere from several $100s to over $1 million. In fact, one of the highest known sales for a 2006 P double die error coin reached a staggering $1.8 million at auction. But of course, most of these coins won't fetch that much. The value depends on the rarity, demand, and the coin's condition, as well as its authenticity. If you think you've found a 2006 P Washington quarter with the double die error, you'll want to have it appraised by a professional. It's always a good idea to get a certified coin grading service, such as the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, to verify the authenticity and condition of your coin. A reputable grading service can help determine whether your coin is truly a rare error and give you an official grade, which is essential for determining its market value. So, there you have it, the 2006 P. Washington Quarter, a seemingly ordinary coin that could be hiding a rare double die error worth up to $1.8 million. If you're lucky enough to find one of these coins, you might just be holding a small fortune in your hand. Always remember to check your pocket change, because you never know what treasure might be waiting.